Hey people, Iron here. 2020 has been a rough year, not to sound derivative, but no matter what, a lot has happened. That's why I've created 3 compilations depicting the parts of the year that were good, the parts that are bad, as well as a montage of all the videos I made this year. Here are the timestamps for all 3 compilations in the screen and in the description, if you'd rather watch one over the other. Real quick, before I go, thank you so much for 330 subscribers. You guys mean a lot to me, and I appreciate you supporting me in the channel since I've been lucky enough to make videos during quarantine. If you've had a hardship in 2020, just remember that nothing lasts forever and that you'll get through this. Finally, I hope you have a happy New Year's. And without further ado, here's 2020, the good, the bad, and the videos, in no particular order. Enjoy.
Iran now says it shot down a Ukrainian passenger plane that crashed near Tehran on Wednesday. All 176 people on board were killed.
The crash came amid high tensions with the US and days after threats of strikes against Iranian targets following the killing in Iraq of Iran's top military commander.
Kobe Bryant has died in a helicopter crash in Southern California. It's understood that his 13-year-old daughter was also killed.
Massive fires, already among the worst in that country's history, with more than 12 million acres scorched. And officials are warning the next few days will be even worse. Maggie Rulli is there in New South Wales, Australia for us this morning with the latest.
Desert locusts swarming the Turkana County have been on a rampage in what experts are calling the worst invasion the country has seen in 70 years.
Coronavirus, it is a pandemic at this point.
The number of confirmed coronavirus cases globally tops 100,000. Major sporting events are canceled, schools and businesses are closed, and many Americans are advised to stay home to limit contact with others.
In New Mexico, the shelves at this Walmart already bare, and long lines forming outside this Costco after the governor reimposed a statewide lockdown.
Tens of thousands of people have demonstrated in an 8th night in cities across the U.S. over the killing of an unarmed black man, George Floyd, while he was being restrained by police. Mainly peaceful marches took place in Los Angeles, Atlanta, New York, and Washington.
The White House is planning to send federal agents to Chicago. This is happening as part of the administration's plans to crack down on violence and crime in the country's major cities.
Congressman Lewis of Georgia, an icon of the nation's civil rights movement, has died. He was 80 years old. Lewis was a protege of Martin Luther King. Together, they challenged the segregated South in the 1960s.
What appear to be fireworks going off before the massive explosion.
At 43, after a valiant 4-year fight, Chadwick Boseman lost his battle with colon cancer Friday, his wife and family beside him.
It's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She passed away at her home in Washington last night from complications related to pancreatic cancer. She was 87 years old. Ginsburg dedicated much of her career to advancing women's rights.
Rock legend Eddie Van Halen died today at a Santa Monica hospital.
Sir Sean Connery has died at the age of 90. His family telling the BBC he passed away peacefully in his sleep. Jason Connery said his father had many of his family around him when he died, adding, "It was a sad day for all who knew and loved my dad."
British actor Dave Prowse, who played Darth Vader in the original Star Wars trilogy, has died. Dave Prowse was 85.
Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett in the original Star Wars trilogy, has died at the age of 75. His agent said he died in hospital.
Looking for clues after a parked RV rigged with explosives blew up. At least 3 people were hurt.
Elton John has launched his Australian farewell tour with a generous $1 million donation to bushfire relief. The singer paid tribute to firefighters on the front lines.
Just mere days into his internship, Sukir noticed something in a system called TOI 1338. What he initially thought was an eclipse turned out to be a circumbinary planet.
As far as Hollywood entrances go, the South Korean thriller Parasite made a huge splash, becoming the first foreign language film ever to win Best Picture.
Everyday people have also started making their own masks to wear in public. Health healthy people wearing masks is a good step towards slowing the spread of the virus.
They're not the only animals taking advantage of the lack of people. Japan's famous Nara Park deer, usually fed by tourists, have started wandering into town to search for their next meal.
The Navy's Blue Angels roaring from New York City to Philadelphia and Wilmington, Delaware today. They were in formation, saluting frontline workers fighting the coronavirus.
A new chapter in space history today. The first launch in 9 years and the first private company ever to launch NASA astronauts into space.
Echoing from coast to coast, the largest day of demonstrations for George Floyd yet. In Washington, crowds stretching from the Lincoln Memorial to Black Lives Matter Plaza in front of the White House.
NASA's new Mars rover, Perseverance, is on its way to Mars. Perseverance lifted off from Florida this morning for a 6.5-month journey.
His company, MacGruber Southern California, makes a product out of 100% waste plastic. They've done about 5 private projects in the San Diego area already.
We're lowering the amount of virgin fossil fuels that we use in asphalt and replacing that same amount with this waste plastic additive to create a stronger, longer lasting.
Scientists from Nanyang Technological University say they have developed a new drug-free approach to killing cancer cells.
So once these particles are inside the cells, it will stimulate excessive amount of reactive oxygen species production, causing the cells to destruct through a process known as apoptosis.
This dude went viral just for cruising along on his skateboard drinking cran raspberry juice, all the while lip-syncing to Fleetwood Mac.
Millie Bailey says she always wanted to go skydiving. She recently checked that off her bucket list at the age of 102. In World War II, she joined the Women's Army Corps, rising to unit commander, and was one of only 2 African-American women in her class at Adjutant General School.
Former Vice President Joe Biden has made history. He has now surpassed his former running mate Barack Obama for the most votes ever received in a presidential election.
People going through the Dairy Queen in Brainerd really paid it forward. It started last Thursday during the lunch hour with one person offering to pay the bill of the person behind them. Then it just kept going and going, and it grew to more than 900 cars.